said in March that you would go to East Palestine, Ohio. You came here. How come you haven't gone to East Palestine yet?
Well, I haven't had the occasion to go to East Palestine. There's a lot going on here, and I just haven't been able to break. I was thinking whether I'd go to East Palestine this week, but I then was reminded I've got to go literally around the world. I'm going from Washington to India to Vietnam and so it's going to be a while. But we're making sure that East Palestine has what they need materially in order to deal with their problems.
What about people who say you're only interested in the Middle East for oil?
What? Huh? Oil? Who said something about oil, bitch? You cooking? Oil?
Welcome to Totally Base. I'm Joey Gaskin, and today we got to talk about your boy Sleepy Joe. Why is he avoiding these people of East Palestine, Ohio? I don't know. Perhaps you missed the story. There was a train derailment about 7 months ago in East Palestine, Ohio. The train was carrying toxic chemicals, namely vinyl chloride. And vinyl chloride is a very dangerous substance. It can cause cancer. It can cause liver cancer, brain cancer, and even blood cancers. So in an attempt to control this fire, they burned it off into the atmosphere. Probably not the smartest idea, and we're learning that it may not have even been necessary. So the people of this town are obviously very concerned about their water now, concerned about the air they're breathing and their crops, and the authorities continue to test and say, oh, everything's fine. So I don't know, would that give you peace? Would that give you enough solace? Because if it were me, I probably would not feel that great or that confident, honestly. And so Joe Biden he's not yet set boots on the ground. It's been around 211 days, and he has not come to East Palestine, Ohio, although he promised he would. Also, Washington, D.C. is only about 5.5 hours away from East Palestine, Ohio. So that's probably like an hour and a half commercial flight, and he's not even flying that. He's flying Air Force One. So you guys do the math. So Joe Biden says he's been busy, and that's what we're going to figure out today. This is from the New York Post. It says Biden insists he's too busy to visit site of Ohio train derailment disaster despite record vacations. Been too busy on a holiday.
You liar!
President Biden claimed he hasn't been able to break since promising he'd visit the site of the toxic train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio months ago, despite recently taking a roughly 8-day vacation in Nevada. Biden was asked why he hasn't yet fulfilled his March commitment to visit the Ohio Village at a press conference Saturday in Live Oak, Florida, during his short trip to view Hurricane Idalia's wreckage. I haven't had the occasion to go to East Palestine, Biden told reporters. There's a lot going on here, and I just haven't been able to break. His remarks came nearly a week after he finished off his family getaway in Nevada, and some 211 days since the February 3rd derailment. That's ridiculous. It's been 7 months.
Give me a break. That's a bunch of malarkey.
The Post reported Saturday that Biden has spent 40%, or 382 of his first 957 days as president, on personal overnight trips away from the White House, taking more downtime than any of his recent predecessors. And then they have this New York Post, old man and the Z's. The guy's always sleeping. He's always sleeping, and apparently always holidaying, apparently always on vacation. Biden promised to visit East Palestine at some point on March 2nd, but declined to specify when. The Norfolk Southern train that derailed there was carrying toxic vinyl chloride, roughly 5 cars worth of which was burned off in a controversial controlled explosion. The disaster unleashed hazardous chemicals into the soil, air, and water, ravaging the community. And so, again, now they said that everything's fine, that they've tested the water, they've tested the air, they've tested the crops, and everything's fine. But there's also a report that came out saying different.
This Sunday will mark 7 months since the fiery train derailment here in East Palestine. And now some neighbors are growing concerned that construction in the city park could show that there is still contamination in the soil here.
This video from Rick Chai is in Leslie Run, appearing to show some kind of substance getting from the soil into the water below.
We're poking in the sidewalls and chemicals are just oozing out, some of the worst we've seen in 6 months.
Chai and Randy DeHaven live in the area. They say they've been out regularly since the derailment, searching for signs of chemicals in local creeks. Here at the city park, crews are rebuilding the bridge that spans Leslie Run at the park's main entrance. The project is unrelated to the derailment, and the old bridge has since been demolished. But Chai says as crews dug a piece of the ground up, he and DeHaven are worried about what else is out there.
It is not just by sheer luck that they took one shovelful and quit and found a whole bunch of chemicals. I propose that if they took a shovelful anywhere along these miles of banks, they would find these chemicals, and that's what the frightening thing is to us residents.
The Ohio Department of Transportation is involved in the bridge project administration because federal funding is involved. Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reached out asking if they've seen chemical issues here. The state DOT says in a statement, in part, quote, "Since this was first brought to our attention in early August, we have been working with all applicable state and federal agencies and the village's contractor to ensure any debris from the project complies with all regulations and permits."
Meantime, an update from the EPA late last week says water sampling in Leslie Run is continuing. Sediment testing has been completed, and that will be used to assess the impact from the derailment on these streams. Reporting in East Palestine, Ohio, Tom Garris, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
So there you have it. I mean, no need to be worried, right? Water's fine, air's fine, crops are fine. Probably not, but I don't know. I do want to say this, though. I feel awful for these people because obviously we all experienced COVID and that was bad on its own, but for them to have to go through this after that, it's absolutely awful. And Joe Biden should be boots on the ground, talking to these people, hearing the things they're going through and seeing what's going on there. Currently, they're pushing for him to sign a disaster declaration. That would put FEMA on the ground there and give them the resources that they need to get everything cleaned up. So hopefully that will happen. Also, there is a emergency support program that's been set up for them as well. Businesses can receive a 0% forgivable loan for ongoing expenses and recovery efforts. So hopefully they are getting some of the resources that they need to get back on their feet and to get their town back to where it was at. I don't know, guys. I think this is really quite tragic. A lot of the things that are going on with our president and our country are quite tragic. So please share this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.